Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good morning, everyone. Steve Murray with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thank you for joining us today. I got a great group as always, and one that's still growing. I see we still got some folks joining in, which is just fine. So my name is Steve Murray. I'm the Executive Vice President here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. We're going to talk about Social Security claiming. We're going to talk about some of the ins and outs of Social Security claiming. We're going to talk about seminars and how we're some great results we're seeing in seminar, Social Security claiming seminar business in general, and then probably talk specifically about a great new way that we have to fill the room around Social Security seminars. So going to be a great webinar today. I'm going to speed through some things at the front end, and I want you all to please, if you have any questions, to type them in, and we'll get them answered as quickly as we can. There'll be a couple of polls that will pop up really quickly as well. If we answer those and we can get moved on, that's great for everybody. As always, you're not making any commitments when you put yes or no to a poll. You're just letting us know where you may have some interest, and we appreciate that very much. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you all can hear me. All right. Okay, I wanted to make sure that you're all aware of our referred producer program and marketing reimbursement. As I look at the list of attendees, that we've got a pretty veteran group on here with us, so I am going to speed through this pretty quickly. RPM, you can see before you, there's opportunity for you to earn money on folks that you referred to us. We appreciate your referrals. Obviously, it's been the basis of our growth for years and years, 33 plus years. Referrals has been kind of the kingpin of our success, which we appreciate. For the past 7 or 8 years, we've been rewarding them with the little cash payouts, and those are some of the largest checks that we send out right now. So big deal to us, big deal for our producers, and believe me, I'd rather send the money to you all than send it to some advertising company or some magazine or do some other way of trying to attract new producers that is not nearly as effective as your referrals. So we appreciate your referrals. When you refer people, we'll send you out checks based on their business. It does not take anything out of their pocket. They're treated exactly like everyone else. They can still qualify for all of our stuff. We basically take the bonus that we send you out of our advertising budget as an appreciation for your referral. So thank you for those. Many of you on board with us here, I see, get some of those checks, so that's great news. Market reimbursement, again, a very simple program. No matter what business you do with IAMS, you get a little money that goes into your marketing reimbursement account. When you spend money on marketing, anything that you use to grow your business, we are glad to match your spend dollar for dollar through your marketing reimbursement account. So take advantage of those two programs if you have not already, and just as I look, I know many of you have. There are a few of you aboard with us that are new to IAMS, which is great. Thank you and welcome aboard. For those of you that have been with us for 6 months or less, you're still eligible for the new producer bonus program. You can see again on the screen before you what those new producer bonuses are. As I would mention to you, so the point levels are based on dollar for dollar your annuity business. We give you more credit for SPL business. We give even more credit for your target premium life business. We give you about 13 to 1 credit there, about 1.5 for your SPL business. But everything that you do counts towards your new producer bonus, and then you choose at which level you want to claim it. You can claim a vacation, you can claim getting in the seminar business, you can claim a website, iPad, whatever you want to do. What I will say beyond that is that if there's something that's not on here that you say, hey, this is something I do every day to build my business, and I'd like you guys to participate in that, just give me a call, give your sales director a call and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking for my new producer bonus. We'll custom fit it for you and for your business. It's only better for you and only better for us if we're doing something that helps you accomplish exactly what you want to towards meeting your goals. So we just want to throw that out there for y'all. If you're not familiar with IAMS, and you probably are not aware of the quality of what we do on the kind of the back end of this business. So what many of you might say that have been with us for a while, and many of our top producers have said in the past, is that the level of back office support that you get at IAMS is really to the level that it could potentially save you from having to hire somebody. And I believe that's true. We've got the gals and guys here in the office that get your business and walk it through. They're looking at it every day. They're communicating with you probably every other day, at least at some level, whether it's via email just to let you know the status quo, or they're calling you and saying, hey, this is what we discovered that we need, and this is what we're doing about it. So you're going to get regular communication about your businesses in the house. Other things that we do that you're probably well aware of, from a case design and finding the right product fits and everything you need to help you through the, hey, I met a prospect, all the way to, I need to make him a client, all the way to, hey, here's an application, now I need to get commission. I mean, the last call we make on that is literally to the company. We see that you've issued that. We want to call our agent and let him know when he can expect that commission in his account. And so that's the kind of the last communication that you will normally get from IAMS on a given case. So we do really follow it through, right through to the very end for you. So take advantage of that if you don't already, and I know a lot of you do and appreciate it. We have a creative department that I tell our producers to think of as kind of a advertising agency built specifically for folks that are in our business, so the financial services business. So they've been doing work for people just like you for about the past 16, 17 years that we've had that department in place. So they've got a lot of great built up things that they can help you with. They can help you through any potential solutioning that you're trying to come up with to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish in your area. We work directly with a number of ways to the guys look at outside of what they would consider, whether it's radio or Facebook, digital marketing of seminars. We can help with all of that. And most of that work we try and do for you on a pro bono basis. Now, there's some things, obviously printing and things like that, setting up a website. There's some things where there's going to be expenses involved in that, and we like to pay for that with marketing reimbursement as well. So any way that we can get that done for you and get you recognized in your area and get you having people calling you or getting in touch with you one way or another to help them accomplish their personal financial goals. That's what the creative department does for our guys. You can see on the screen there's some of the basic things that they do, but if you think of it more as, hey, this is my advertising and marketing group, and look at them that way, we've just increased, about doubled the size of that department. So we've got plenty of assistance at the end of the phone line for you, with a lot of folks that are very, whether it's design, working the digital world to get you the best results, updating websites, creating whole new websites, anything that you are using to grow your business, they can certainly help with. We get some great stuff on the website, and I have this here for a lot of reasons. We're always making changes, and so this is a good placeholder for us to remind folks, especially those of you that join us regularly for webinars, of things that have changed. So some of the things that have changed over the years have been things like adding on the sales resource library under support. We've got some great stuff there. If you haven't looked at that, you should, because a lot of things that you can use and you might use to work with your clients are contained there. I mean, it is a very deep resource, a very deep and wide resource for financial professionals. So the way you find that is just go to the support tab, go down to the IAMS Sales Resource Library, and start trolling around and see what's in there. You'll be amazed, surprised, and pleased. We've also just recently added a link to a lot of e-app solutions, whether you're doing annuity apps now with Firelight, using our iPipeline solution to do life apps, or Connect for Medicare to do your Medicare business. We've tried to make it as easy as possible for those of you that want to take advantage of the e-apps. There's a lot of great things about doing it on e-app. And usually what we find is guys that convert even the most difficult conversions, usually after about 4 or 5 apps, like, I don't know why I haven't been doing this for years. So go out there, look at the e-app solutions, and see if you want to start doing your life, annuity, or Medicare sup apps online. I think you'll find that it can save you some time, certainly on the front end and probably on the back end as well. But overall, there's just a lot of great things out there on our website, and I want you to know those two, probably the newest additions. But whether you're doing quotes for life, quotes for annuity, there's a lot of great stuff out there that you can use to help grow your business. Many of you have taken advantage of Retirement Analyzer at some point. A couple of you use this product through us on a regular basis. Basically what it is a software designed to help your clients figure out where they are towards meeting their end goals for retirement, and where they fall short, where they might be long, where they might be misallocated, what things they haven't thought of. It incorporates Social Security, and you can input all of their financial. And this is this resource can be as robust and as detailed as you want to make it. And right now we're making this available to our producers at no cost. So we're paying the expense for it to have monthly access for for a group, and we are able to do that for our producers. If you're just getting rolling with us and you want to have a peek at it and you haven't yet, I would encourage you to go give Marcus Soller a call, have him send you the link. You can use it on, you can do one on yourself just to see how it looks and how it works. And then if that's something you want to use and you're on a, regularly doing business with us, and we're going to take care of the cost of that. It's a really nice benefit, I think, for folks that are looking to get out of a situation with a client where they're just seen as somebody that can handle a small part of their transactional stuff that they do and move into a deeper relationship with them. And it's something that you want to do on some of your, your upper level, your maybe your B and A clients to lock them into you, because it will do that for you. If you get to look at that, you're going to see how that works and how you need to annually review with them and how they're going to be connected to you forever, which is great for them because now they've got a resource, and it's great for you because now you've got a client forever. So if you haven't looked at the Retirement Analyzer software and how it works, give Marcus Soller a call and have him send you out a link, and he can even help you with some of the training. IAMS Wealth is our RIA, been in existence for a little over 2, going on 3 years now. This is what I hear from folks about IAMS Wealth. If you don't have your Series 65 and you think that you may be interested in that, Reg BI on its way. We dodged the DOL bullet, but Reg BI is going to be nearly the same type of thing, and I do not believe that there is any dodging of that bullet. So it's on its way, and so you may, as we delve into that and learn more about it, I think what you're going to discover is that having the ability to handle more than just insurance products is going to be key. IAMS Wealth was built to help folks that primarily, as their main business, were in the insurance and now want to get in the investment management business, the asset management business, and to do that in as easy and straightforward way as possible. So if that's you, they'd be great people to call. I certainly also hear quite often that in comparison to what people are seeing in terms of fees from their current RIA, our fees are very competitive to inexpensive, which is great. That's certainly part of the equation. Probably the bigger part is a lot of folks that I talk to are amazed by our payout. So our payout is just a skosh over 1% to the advisor, 1.02, 1.03, somewhere in that range. But what is different about IAMS Wealth is for a lot of RIAs, they have that payout, but then you go through a grid depending on your business levels. There's no grid with us. It's 1%. You don't get 70% of one, 80% of one, 60% of one, 90% of one. You get 1%, or a little over 1%. So something to think about if you're not happy with what you're receiving from your current RIA. And then I have heard also that from a service standpoint, the folks that work in our wealth management group, the RIA, a lot of them have the same background that we have with IAMS in general. So very high service, high touch, and we just thought that's the way things are supposed to work. But what we're hearing from a lot of folks that have come from other RIAs, that the service and the day-to-day assistance is just incredible that they get from IAMS Wealth compared to what they were used to. So if you're looking for better service, if you're looking for lower fees, if you're looking for a higher payout, or you're looking for assistance for a group that is, well schooled in helping folks move from just an insurance-only practice to a wealth management practice, and can help you through the testing and can assist you kind of through that first step of getting the study materials and what's the best route to taking the test. They can certainly help with that as well. So stand by while we answer the poll. If you could all real quickly just hit yes or no. So what will happen is if you hit yes, you'll get a call from either Mike or Charles, and they'll tell you a little bit about what they do and how they do it. They'll probably send you an email first and set up a time that's convenient. What I hear is it's about a 10-minute call in general, unless you have more questions, where they just explain what they do. They go through in detail what the fees are, go through in detail what the payouts are and how they work, and then talk a little bit about how our platforms work. And if it's a great fit for you, great. If you need some help, if you have some other questions, that's great. They can answer those. If you need to think about it and they call you back later, they'll do that as well. So really a non-threatening situation. We want to help you if that's something that you have interest in. So if you don't have interest, please by all means hit no. No shortage of interest right now from folks in the financial services business, in that part of our business. So they love to chat with you if you have interest, but don't want to bother you if you do not have interest. And I see you've all been pretty good about voting. We've got a couple of you that haven't, but I want to keep moving here. So for those of you, if you've been unable to vote for a reason and you'd like to vote, just give me a buzz here at the office at 800-255-5055 if you want to be connected up with the folks over there, and I'll be glad to see to that for you as well. Thank you all that did vote quickly for handling that. We appreciate that very much. I'm going to go ahead and close that poll out. Get moved right along here. Usually we have a poll around our life and annuity academies, and I'm not going to run that because I want to keep moving along here. But if you do have interest in joining us at an academy, the next one probably now will not be until early next year. So if you have interest in being considered to come in for an academy, please, by all means, give your sales director a call and let them know. They'll be glad to send you out an agenda so you can see, for instance, what we did at the last one. There will be some changes to that in 2020 because obviously there's some other challenges I think that we're going to be facing as 2020 dawns. But a lot of the information I think you'll find quite beneficial as you look over the agenda. You're going to find it's a sales and marketing meeting. It's not necessarily a product meeting. If you're just getting rolling in the business, it's probably not the best meeting for you if you're just trying to get started with working with clients, regarding other than, if you're getting in the annuity business or just getting rolling and helping some of your older clients with, meeting their product needs. We can certainly help you with that on a one-on-one basis, but if you're looking to increase the sales and marketing and increase your footprint and increase the things that you do to meet prospects every day, that's what the Life and Annuity Academy is going to be primarily about, and we'd love to help you with that. So I always tell folks it's not 101, it's kind of a 201 level. You need to have a good grip on products. You need to have a good grip on some of the basics of what we do every day. But if you've got that in place, we can take you to that next level with some great sales and marketing support. That's what the academies are all about. So if you have interest in coming in for 2020, give your sales director a call at 800-255-5055. Have them send you a registration form. You complete that, and then we'll consider you as the opportunities come up in 2020. So we know some people can't always make it, on a given date. So we do about 4 of them a year. We're going to take care of all of your expenses, by the way. We take care of your travel. We take care of your hotel, take care of your room, meals while you're there as well. Put on a great, really a great meeting. And it's my hope that if you have interest in growing your business, you will give your sales director a call. I want to make sure that you're all aware of this. We've got a couple trips on the docket coming up here that qualification is ongoing for. One is IAMS trip that we're doing in conjunction with Athene. So only your Athene business counts towards qualification. We're going to go to the Montage at Cabo San Lucas. And if you look at that picture, and you've ever been to Cabo, you'll say, that does not look like Cabo. That water is way too calm. If those of you that have been there know that the beauty of Cabo is unsurpassed, but sometimes the ocean can be a little troublesome because they get undertow and it can be a little rocky. But the Montage, this particular property, pretty much brand new, built on one of the only swimmable beaches in that area, and it's going to be a great trip. And we'd love to have you all join us out there. And if you have interest in learning more about that trip, again, give us a call. 800-255-5055. This is not a trip that you could qualify by doing your Athene business with anyone else but IAMS. It's a co-sponsored trip, and we're working on this together, and we'd really like to have you join the IAMS team with Athene, and you're going to find a lot of great reasons to do that, including a great trip down to Cabo San Lucas. Concurrently with qualification for that trip is also our top producers escape, and both the qualifications started on July 1st of 2019, so they're ongoing right now. All the business that you do with us through it counts for both trips. Figured that out. So we'll be announcing this destination again, but we will be going in the early spring of 2021. So I'm guessing it'll probably be some tropical place so that we can enjoy a little getaway from the normal winter that most of us endure through the better part of January through March, April, and we'll try and get you away to a nice sunny spot. And we're going to be announcing that location soon, so watch for that. But qualification is currently ongoing. And remember, it takes $3 million to qualify for the Athene IAMS trip. This one, the qualification is probably going to be 3.5. So if you qualify for the Athene trip, you're probably very likely going to qualify for our trip as well. Qualification for this Top Producer Summit runs through December, the end of December in 2020. So the qualification runs an additional 6 months beyond the qualification for our Athene trip. So you get another 6 months to do that $500,000 difference. So we'd love to have you join us on this trip. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about Social Security claiming. Are you bored with us, Dave?
Absolutely.
Great. I'm going to switch over and give you control. While I'm doing that, I want to give you a little background on Dave. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about Social Security claiming. As I mentioned on the outset, we've got some great and exciting things happening there. And part of the excitement is what we've known for the past 5 or 6 years, which is the Social Security claiming seminars are some of the easier ones to do, some of the least expensive ones because there's no food involved. Many of the folks that were very not as successful with what I would call, other types of seminars that require maybe just a little bit more showmanship. This is very educational based. So what we found is that most of our guys and gals that have interest at all are able to do it just fine and see great levels of success. So there's a lot of reasons why we like it. Dave is going to tell you a little bit about the ins and outs of Social Security claiming, and then we're going to talk a little bit about kind of an exciting new way that we have gotten to get a lot more people in the room, to have you sit in front of a lot more people at a much better overall cost per attendee. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the coach and developer of the program, Mr. David Pimper.
Good, and we will go through this fairly quickly. I think that within, maybe 25 minutes or so, we will have gone through and maybe start answering some questions. So if you do have any questions, certainly we got a bunch of people on board for a Friday. This is wonderful. Yeah, so a lot of people want to know about Social Security. Seminar marketing, I'll tell you right now, seminar marketing is not for everyone, but I will tell you that seminar marketing certainly has evolved in the last years. I have over 500 public workshops that I've done since the mid-'80s. And those are the slides that we're going to walk through. And I don't think those are all the slides, but it will give you a very good feeling. Plus, I want to go in and give you some ideas of how Social Security works. I'll tell you right now, if you don't understand Social Security claiming and you're working with the pre and just retired crowd, so from that ages of, say, 55 to 70 or 50 to 70, that's a big part of your business. I find it, 10 years ago, I worked with that crowd, and I didn't know Social Security. And I thought, well, who really needs to know this? But I had so many questions, and I'll tell you right now, I would say that something to do with Social Security does at least 40% of all of the business that I do every single year. It's a result of knowing Social Security. Is that wild? And so I'm just going to tell you, if you're working that age group and you don't know Social Security claiming, I will tell you right now that you're probably losing out on 30 to 50% of your income that you could be getting. Okay? So those are slides, and I start out, the next best thing to being wise oneself is to live in the circle who are by C.S. Lewis. And I say, I am the circle who are, is Dave Pimper. And I'm going to go through those faster than I would normally go through. But as you can see here from the disclosure, I talk about that the views expressed in the seminar reflect the opinion of me. And I'll let them know that it's factual, but I certainly have opinions about Social Security. Now, I'm not going to go through in depth. I just want to give you an idea of what the slides look like. And I've got a lot of slides here to go through. But the new tax reform legislation, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, went in effect January 1. I talk about the intent was to deliver tax cuts to the middle income. That's what it was supposed to do, and it was proposed that over 80% of the people will get tax cuts to the middle income. It went still to 7 brackets, but the brackets are more favorable now than they were before. The biggest thing is we did away with the personal exemption, but the standard deduction started out at $24,000. Remember, if you're full retirement age, and I don't know if I think it's over 66, but you also get another deduction for age, and I think it's up around $27,000. So the first married couple is not paying taxes on $27,000. It's a pretty cool thing. Most people are doing a return that is not itemized, but it goes in and uses the standard deduction. One of the big things in this reform was not just personal, but it also was the big tax cut from 35% to 21% for major corporations. So let's do, when I go, and again, this isn't all the slides. I'm going to probably do 60% of the slides. There's actually 54 slides in the presentation. 4 of those are the new tax reform slides. Of course, you got a couple, 3 or 4 intro slides. You got a couple, 3 or 4 ending slides, which I feel is the most important. And I think actually, I had an advisor just last week up in the Northeast, big producer, he's doing some Social Security seminars, but he really sees the value of using our seminar. And he said, could you make me a list of kind of all the things that maybe set you apart as Dave Pimper in the IAMS seminar system of why this is working? And so I wrote down 15 things that I think that we do a bit uniquely. And if you even put 2 or 3 of those into, maybe with your existing workshop, if you have success, maybe putting 2 or 3 of those things into your existing workshop, into your methodology, I think that it would increase the number of appointments in the closed business that you get. So it's and I also do language. I do believe that the 2 or 3 or 4 intro slides and the 3 or 4 ending slides, it's extremely important of what you say there. And you need to get people off of dead center. Facts do not get people off of dead center. Emotion gets people off of dead center. Facts don't make you fall in love. She's 5'3", she weighs this, it's this. Those facts don't do anything. It's the talking and the feeling and that's what gets people off of dead center. There's no saying that facts tell and stories sell, or facts tell and emotion sells, because stories are emotion. They can relate to you. Yeah, some pretty neat things. So what we're going to do, is a stroll down memory lane. I talk about FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, started Social Security in 1935 by the Social Security Act, was all kind of the part of just all of the legislation that was happening there for the people that were just in poverty. Over 70% of widowed ladies were in poverty. 50% of all people were in poverty in the Great Depression. It was horrible. First check was actually in 1940. Back then, at the age of 65 is the only time you could take Social Security back when it started. Well, the average lifespan back there was 62. Now it's 80 plus. What a great deal. You die at 62 and the government's going to pay you if you're living at 65. I love those odds if I'm the government. I hate those odds if I'm the individual. Yeah. Was never taxed until Ronald Reagan came about. And that was with Tip O'Neill across the aisle. This is in the old days when there actually was some working together across the aisle. It doesn't really happen much anymore, which is a shame. But if you made above a certain amount, then Social Security was taxed. In 93, Bill Clinton thought of 50% of those benefits being taxed, and 85 are. The Bipartisan Budget Act did away with file and suspend, phased it out in 6 months. But those are coordinating spousal benefits. Restricted application is still available if the person taking the application is born before January the 2nd of 1954. So they got to be about 6 years and 9 months old, right? 66. They have to be 66 years and 9 months old right now to be able to use that, which is a great thing because it has free money. Any questions? Bring it up. And again, I'm going to go through those pretty quickly, but there's over 68 million people who get some kind of benefit from Social Security each and every year. Over 5.5 million people take brand new benefits. I started brand new benefits in the last year. How important is Social Security? Social Security, actually, we have updated a slide right now. 59% of the people consider Social Security that it's very important to their income stream upon retirement. Isn't that wild? It's very, very important to most people. Who's it not important to? The rich. Who's it the most important to? Someone who has no income streams, the poor. But no doubt in our business, the middle income to upper middle income, that's the majority of our money. Do I have rich people in my book? Of course I do. Nebraska rich, maybe not Silicon Valley rich. Do I have poor people in my book? I don't, because they don't have any money. That doesn't mean they're not great people. It just isn't who I work with, who I don't see. Get a load of this. Jana Heron out of the USA Today in July 1st of this year, she wrote an article and it says, doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean $100,000 losing that in retirement. First bullet point. How much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Second bullet point. Retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime. Why? Because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. When you read that to a group of 20, 30, 40 people in the room, and they're there to find out when the best time, don't you think they'll look at you and say, my gosh, can you show me how I could make over $111,000 more money in my lifetime by claiming at the right time? You tell me if that's not strong. Last bullet point. Overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. And just to let you know, and I tell them this, it isn't always waiting to the last age of 70. The financially optimal age averages out around 67 or 68. Like my wife, optimal for her to take at 62. Mine happens to be 70. It's individual. Then I will say to the group, folks, you're part of that 4%. You're part of that smart group that wants to know, how can I maximize my Social Security? And I might say here, you know what, folks? Social Security is the worst water cooler talk there is. Hey, I took it 62 and you should too. Hey, I took it 70 and you should too. That's like saying, I love the color violet and that should be your favorite color too. It's ridiculous. It's extremely individualized when it comes to when you need to go in and to take your benefit. I'm not going to take that much time. That's what I do out there. And I've got a video of myself doing this presentation. Now, actually, it's a similar presentation that we got the video. We're going to go in and be making in the next month a video of me doing those exact slides. And I've updated those slides a teeny bit. And we will get a FINRA review if you're securities. If you have a broker dealer, most of the time they want a FINRA review. We will have that for you. But I'll tell you what, I put this together, and you know, when you do something like this, I mean, I don't make up those 54 slides. But probably half of them are kind of my idea of what I think is important, and then you just kind of legally go out and plagiarize everybody else and change some things. But you know what? How much difference can there be about a survivor benefit or a divorce benefit or a spousal benefit? Yeah, those things, I mean, they're factual. They're factual. And I tell you right now, I have probably seen 20 plus Social Security seminars, and almost all of them are they're just way too complicated. Way too complicated. I mean, it's a complicated subject anyway. It's a very boring subject. Social Security, I mean, sheesh. I mean, it's a boring, difficult 2,700 rules in Social Security, and people get so, those presentations get so complicated. I mean, I know a lot about Social Security, and some of the slides I even can get confused until I really look at it for a long time. Our slides, it's certainly, I want to go in and touch on the high points. I say here, you never saw articles like this 10 years ago, but you see a lot more articles now. This came out of the Wall Street Journal, how to maximize your Social Security benefits. Now, and I talk about Social Security 101. There's 3 important ages or dates. 62 is the earliest you can take it. 70, if you don't take it, you lose it. And then there's full retirement age. If you're born from 1943 to 1954, full retirement age is 66. If you're, and then it stair steps up to 60. If you're born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. If you take before full retirement age, you get it right now, but it is reduced. Your benefit's reduced. If you wait later, your benefit is increased. I will tell you right now, the average person that you're talking to in the crowd, I would say 50 to 75% of them don't even know that. The most basic thing. And to me, that'd be like saying, is 2 plus 2 or 3 plus 3, which is more? I don't know. I think 50 to 70% don't even know the basics of Social Security. So I talk about, I know you've got questions and concerns. That's why you're here tonight. Social Security really broke. We're going to go in and talk about that. When's the best time for you to apply? I will tell you right now, that's individualized. I can't tell you in a group like this when your best time to apply is, because it might be different than the person on your right and the person on the left. And that is why so many people, they take me up on, and there's no strings attached. I mean, leave your checkbook at home. There's no cost, but they come in for a free report. Hey, Steve, if you're still there or not. Hey, Steve. I don't know if he's there now. Okay. But what happens here is, I'm sorry about the background noise, but what happens here is that I want to bring up, hey, most people come in for the free consultation, and we tell them that they get an 11-page report and it's got break-evens, and I'll walk through and we'll find out when your best time is. It's very, very strong, and I normally bring that up, I would say, 4 or 5 times throughout the presentation, okay? Just because we have 5 bullet points doesn't mean you got to go through all 5 people can read, but I'll tell you right now, I pick up the 1, 2, or 3 really important ones, and then I kind of expound on that. Like on this slide, I would say, folks, I'm going to tell you what, Social Security can have a huge value. Why I say can? Because what happens if you die early? Yeah. What happens if you take it at the wrong time and it's not a huge value? Now I read it. Maximizing your benefit increases your value. Actually, maximizing, which means claiming at your right time, not someone else's, but your right time, can really increase the value. So see, I can want to really say it's an individual. It's not just a group. It's not just like our fathers or grandmothers did way back in the day when they just either took it 62 or when they retired. There was no delaying. There was no trying to work restricted application or thinking about the survivor benefit. And I try to keep humor in this. So I'll tell stories, like my favorite stories are, I'll talk about when we talk about claiming strategies, because Social Security has $2.9 trillion in the trust fund, $2.9 trillion. And then you'll get naysayers in there. You'll say, and what do they buy with that 2.9? Well, it's called special issue government bonds. But the government has gone in and borrowed against almost all of those government bonds. So there isn't bonds there anymore. Okay? So there's IOUs. The government's borrowed. And so that's why a lot of people will say, that naysayers will say it's a Ponzi scheme. Well, then what I'll do is I'll say, hey, anybody have $1 in their pocket? And then I'll have them take out a dollar bill. I said, what backs that dollar bill? Does gold back it? No. Does silver back it? No. Anything hard asset back it? No. What backs it? And then someone will say, the U.S. government, the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. And then I'll say, you know what? You know what backs Social Security now? An IOU from the U.S. government. The exact same guarantee that backs your currency. And then I say, you know what? So when I go down to the quick shop and I gas up and it's $40 and I want to pay with cash, and they tell me, didn't you hear? Cash is not good any longer. And when that happens, then I will be concerned about my Social Security benefit. Now, when you tell stories like that, people really relate to it. They don't have to believe you, but it's an analogy. They really can relate to it. Another story I'll do is when it talks about trying to fund, because if we stay where we're going right now, that $2.9 trillion will be depleted by the year 2035. Depleted by the year 2035. So there's all different ways, and then I talk about, it's one of the slides, but I'll talk about means testing. I say, a lot of government right now, you hear a lot talk about means testing. I said, does anybody know how means testing works? And then someone will raise their hand, and I ask them, and normally they know it. Means testing just means that they want to go in, if you're wealthy or make a lot of money, and you've been putting in Social Security the whole time, the government wants to go on in because you're very well off. They want to go on in, and they want to take part of that, or all of that if you make enough money, and give it to someone who hasn't put as much in, hasn't been as successful financially. And you can just tell, and there are people out there that have that persuasion, and I'll say personally I'm not. And I'll say the amazing thing is they want to start taking, and I can actually see where people are for it. Like there are some people that are all for that. It's wealth redistribution, taking kind of from the wealthy and giving to the poor. But what happens is now they're looking at doing it at $50,000 of adjusted gross income in retirement. So if you make 51,000, they may take 30% of your Social Security, and then I can look at the group of the ones that were kind of for it, going, I was for it, but now that you're saying 50,000, I'm really not for it. That really gets people thinking. Another story is how are you going to fund that? Then I'll say, I think an easy way is to go in and just change the full retirement age and change the age, the last date you can take. Let's say you take full retirement age and you move it from 67 to 70, and take that 70 and move it to 73 or 74. But don't affect the people that are 55 and over. Don't affect us, our age group, because we're close to retirement or you're just going into retirement. It affects someone like my son. And then here's a story. I'll say, I promise you, if I ask Sam Pimford, 27 years old, smart guy, news editor at a small local paper in Nebraska, if you ask him, what do you think about that, Sam, if we raise your full retirement age Social Security? And then I say, you know what he'll tell me this weekend? Give me another beer, Dad. Who cares? And then people laugh a little bit. People like stories like that. So if you can tell good stories, because why do people buy from us? Why do people buy from a financial advisor or an insurance agent like ourselves? They buy because, you know what? Not because of how much we know, not how smart we are. If they bought because of how smart we are, then every scientist, math teacher, engineer, architect, doctor, those are smart people. They'd be the best salespeople in this business. They're not. That left brain gets in the way of the right brain. So what happens is they buy because they like us. Why does a person sign up with an appointment up there? They like us. We've made a connection with them. That's why on those first slides I try to humanize myself, let them know who I am, who my family is, who my pets are, where I went to school, where I used to live, what my dad did, what my grandpa did. Yeah. I humanize. And then we walk through that. So there are ways. A seminar is just not a seminar, not just a seminar. I'll guarantee you, seminars can be better or worse. Okay, I kind of got in a roll there. Sorry about that. So we'll keep going here. Yeah, Social Security. Yeah, Social Security has lifetime income. It's a big benefit. Look at that. In 10 years, a $2,000 benefit pays you over $300,000 at a 2.8% hypothetical cost of living. In 20 years, over two-thirds of a million. In 30 years, over 1.1 million. It's a huge asset. It's an asset like this if you claim at the right time for you. How you go online, we get that. You can go online now and get it, and don't get a paper. I have 5 myths. I don't go through all 5 myths here, but I say, you know what? Here's a myth: Social Security is going broke. And then I might say, hey, last year did Social Security run a surplus or a deficit? Most people say deficit. It's wrong. We ran a surplus. Ran a $3 billion. Now that's not much off of a $1 trillion social program, but $3 billion this year. Yeah, looks like we're going to run a deficit. When's the last time that we ran a deficit? We've paid out more in benefits than we took in. Anybody know? But you don't. 1983. That's when they started taxation. Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill. Yeah, they pushed it through. But I heard my dad say, you better save, you better invest, Dave, because Social Security is never going to be around when you retire. Well, that's wrong. And then I go in and I show them $2.9 trillion in the trust fund. Net increase of $3 billion. Here's another thing that I'll do. I'll go in there and I'll say, hey, let's say the trust fund runs out of money. They're right. Baby boomers, the biggest money generation of all times, they're pulling all their Social Security at a high rate, at a high amount. Yeah, and it runs out. So let's say you're getting $2,000 and Social Security runs out of money through the trust fund. So it goes bankrupt. That's what they say. Social Security is bankrupt. Trust fund is bankrupt. Well, if you're getting a $2,000 benefit, if there's no money in the trust fund, how much will you get after it goes bankrupt? By far, the average person says zero. It's bankrupt. But see, and then I'll say that's not true. What funds Social Security? Oh, payroll taxes. Remember that 6.2% you pay, and the 6.2% your employer pays. And if you're lucky enough, like I am, and a lot of us are, we're self-employed. We pay 6.2 on each side, 12.4%. Yeah, that keeps coming in. Now there used to be 15 people working for every retired. In 1950, now it's 3 people working for every retired, but there's still enough to somewhere pay between 75 and 80% of the benefit. So you may not have 2,000, but you're probably going to go on in and have 1,500 or 1,600. So they get some thinking. I try to go in and kind of engage that seminar attendee's mind a little bit. How to shore up Social Security, we just talked about that with the means testing, et cetera. Social Security facts, yeah. It's a pay-as-you-go system, payroll taxes. USA does borrow, yes. Social Security is not a Ponzi scheme. How can it be a heck of a Ponzi scheme when we've had huge market downfalls? We've had since it started, we probably have had 14 or 15 deep recessions. One of the worst one in 2007, 8, 9. The Social Security has never missed a payment. Never. They've never had a reduced payment. Never. No, it's solid. And most people don't think that it is. So then the old theory of I better take it now while it's still here, not smart. I talk about full retirement age, 1943, 1954. I talk about a bunch of acronyms here. You know, there's a gazillion acronyms. Gazillion. I go through a couple of those. Applying for benefits, if you apply early, it's reduced. If you apply late, it's increased by 8% per year. And then I go in and I talk about spousal benefits, survivor benefits, and divorce benefits. And I talk about restricted application. So when we're coaching together, if you want to do the seminar, and one of the things Steve was talking about, we've always done hard mailings on seminars. And then I've tested, and we tested 3 or 4 different vendors. And I had marginal success. Some was very good, some was not. So digital marketing, meaning it could be Facebook, Instagram, it could be LinkedIn. But I'll tell you, Facebook, it's by far the most popular. Do I understand how Facebook works? I do not. Am I signed up for Facebook? I am. I've never sent a picture on Facebook. I mean, I'm 64 years old. I haven't got a clue. But all I know is I'm making a lot of money from Social Security seminars through Facebook, and so are a lot of other people right now. I think we've got 9 or 10 programs running right now. We just had one yesterday. He called me this morning. You know what he did? He got 28 people the first night and 22 or 3 people the second night. And I mean, he had somewhere between 25 and 30 buying units down in Orlando, and he got 14 or 15 appointments, set appointments, yeses. And we're trying to get 10 appointments or more. I tell you what, it's just working. I don't know if it's new. I don't know how long it's going to work, but I'll tell you what. If you've done seminars that maybe didn't have success, you've done seminars couldn't fill the room up. If you had seminars you didn't have somebody to coach you through some of the important things as of me. If you don't know Social Security and you want to learn, that's the byproduct, positive effect of doing Social Security workshops with Dave Pimper and IAMS, because I'm going to coach you with Social Security. I have 3 coaching sessions. There's a great book. You buy it. It's about $20 over Amazon. I give you attachments. I give you all kind of I call Dave Pimper's kind of the secret sauce of Social Security seminar success that I feel is the secret sauce that we have. Yeah. And you know what? I normally say, but you know what? As with marketing, there is no guarantees. Well, I tell you right now, here's pretty wild. There is a guarantee with this. We guarantee for $2,500, we guarantee you'll get coaching. You'll get, anytime you need help from me, you can ask for it. You'll get it. You've got 3 months worth of free Social Security software, 3 months free. If you want to take it after that, then you'll pay for it about $27 a month. You'll guarantee to get 25 buying units between the 2 nights. How often can you say there's a guarantee in a seminar? I shopped that around. 3 different well-known seminar providers, well-known if you know anything about seminars. One for 25 guaranteed buying units was $4,850. One was $5,350. One was $6,300. We're charging $2,500, not just for the presentation, not just for the guaranteed 25 buying units, not just for filling the room with those folks, not just with all of that stuff. We're going in and wrapping it all together, then coaching you through it. But the byproduct is you're going to learn Social Security. And I'll tell you right now, it'll make you money. I promise you that. So let's just go in. We'll talk about this first. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it again. Social Security, the basics is my PIA, primary insurance amount at full retirement age is 24, and Dave's, Amy's is 1,000. Yeah. I'm at 24. My wife's at 1,000. We both claim. Amy can take all of hers or half of mine, half of Dave's, whichever is higher. What's higher? 1,200 is higher than 1,000. how it really works is Amy gets her $1,000, and then she gets a top-up of a spousal benefit of $200. A divorce spouse benefit, I call it the triple play. Your marriage lasted at least 10 years or more. You're currently unmarried, and your ex is at least 62. If that's the case, you can use your spouse just as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? Married couples have many more options than single folks. Very, very important. And I go much more into depth when I'm coaching, and of course at the workshop I do too. Survivor benefit. Dave's benefits $2,000, Amy's benefits $1,200. Dave dies. Amy goes in, she can jump up her benefit from $1,200 to $2,000. She can keep her own, or she can jump up to a higher benefit, whichever is higher. Pretty cool. Here's another story. You have to call or do it online or over the phone, but you have to request this benefit. It doesn't happen automatically like a spousal benefit does. Well, here comes a gal about 9 years ago, right when I was learning Social Security. I did my seminar in Fremont, Nebraska. And she goes in, she goes, Mr. Pimper. She's like in her early 70s. I love when old people call me Mr. Pimper. Mr. Pimper, you know what? You said something that really concerned me. And I said, well, what is that? And I'm telling this to the group now, okay? They love stories. I said, you know what? She said, my husband died 5 years ago, and he was making $1,800. I'm rounding those off, but it's real close. $1,800, and I was making $1,300. And I asked it, and they told me that I had to keep my benefit. I couldn't jump up to my husband's higher benefit, so I just kept my benefit the entire time. I said, well, let me ask you this: who did you talk to? And she said, my brother. And so, yeah, 18 minus 1,300, $500 times 12 months, 6,000 times 5 years, 30,000. Yeah, she lost out on 30,000 bucks. We did get her 6 months of retro benefits, so she was out 27,000 because she trusted her brother. And I say, folks, don't trust your brother. Don't trust that person at the water fountain at your corporation. Take it from someone who understands, someone like myself who really understands Social Security. Great story. Also, what's great about this survivor benefit, what happens is if those three things come into play, you're unmarried and your spouse is at least 62 and you've been married for 10 years and then divorced, if all those hands goes up, then you can go in and act like you're still with them. So for survivor benefits are a little bit different because the benefit is mine's 2,000, Amy's 1,200. She can request to jump up to mine. What's so important about this is that there's also a survivor benefit if you go on and you're divorced. Say that triple play comes into play, and let's say you don't get remarried. Your husband had a $3,500 benefit and yours is $1,000. When your ex dies, you jump up to his. Now we don't want that to happen quickly, but maybe some do. But what a huge benefit is it if your benefit isn't very high? So we go through that. It really makes an impact to the attendees. Coordinating spousal benefits. The Bipartisan Budget Act did away with file and suspend. Something with all the sizzle went away. I'm telling you what, I've never had more business come in from Social Security seminars or my radio show, Retirement Boss Radio, that we also have available for folks if it's open in your area. But Social Security is I bet 35-40% of the business I have come in from Social Security on the Retirement Boss Radio. But restricted application is still around. It's just kind of cool, and it's really complicated. So you're not going to understand it in the slide, but it's basically when at full retirement age, you start claiming, you stop it right away. Your wife or say it's your spouse is already claimed, and now you let yours continue to grow the guaranteed 8% per year of delayed retirement credits, and you can go out and you can take half of your spouse's benefit. In this case, my spouse is Amy. Hers is $1,000. You can keep on letting yours grow, and she is going to give you $500 as a spousal benefit. That $6,000 a year is free money. Less than 1% of all Social Security recipients that restricted application could help them use this strategy. Unbelievable. What are you going to get the biggest family benefit if you wait to 70? And we tell them that's not the case always. Consider to claim early. Sure, if you need the money, your health is bad, DNA is bad in your family, you might want to claim early, absolutely. But why delay claiming makes good sense? Yeah. If you wait from 62 to 70 at a 2.8% COLA, your money basically doubles in 8 years. Where can you double your income in 8 years? Where can you double anything in 8 years? Guaranteed by the U.S. government on 8% of that. And then if there's an average of 2.8% COLA, you just can't do it. Social Security myth number 3. If I claim Social Security benefits early and invest the income, I'll come out ahead rather than delaying them. We go in and kind of debunked that myth a little bit. There is an earnings test if you're before full retirement age. You make over $17,640. Yeah, they're going to take 1/2 of all your money. Well, most people don't know is they do give that back to you. But when? You need to mark yes here a little bit, and I'll tell you that. Yeah, all those kind of things bring people in. Do-overs or are do-overs. Remember that bottom one, 6 months retroactive? If you start it and pay it back within the first year, how about you start under full retirement age? You start at 62, company calls you back at 64 and says, hey, we'll double your pay. We want you to come back, and you're retired now. You say, okay, I will. Can you stop Social Security? No, you can't. Most people think you can. You can't. But you can win at a later date. What's that? I'm not going to tell you, but you can. Yeah, those are all the little innuendos. There is taxation on Social Securities if you're in a high enough bracket. Since muni bond income is taxed, it only makes sense that tax-free Roth distributions are taxed. Incorrect. They're not taxed with Social Security. And then we go through the brackets of Social Security. Reducing taxation, we talk about Roth conversions, because it could be a very good time for a Roth conversion. This is my 5th myth. Social Security Administration will give you the best advice on how to maximize your benefit. That's wrong. You know what they can't do? They cannot give you advice. Is that bizarre? Why do you go to the Social Security office? Well, maybe to claim, but also get advice on when the best time to claim. They cannot do that. Who can do it? Dave Pipper can. You can if you understand Social Security. And I know I'm going through a lot of information here. We go much slower. We do really, we go through, there is some work to do. I mean, there's a book to read. It takes I figure for a month, there's probably 3-4 hours a week that you need to devote to Social Security claiming. And then with our coaching sessions, and you'll know a heck of a lot more than what you knew in the beginning. Yeah, get a load of that. From the Social Security Program's Operation Manual, their POMS manual. Number D, this is for the Social Security Administration to provide enough information so that claimants, people who go in and want to claim Social Security, can make informed choices, but do not give advice. I was so excited when I found that. Wild, wild, wild. Consider all your income streams, because I believe that Social Security is not a standalone investment. Social Security is the most flexible income stream of all the income streams. Claiming at your right time is paramount, and don't ever forget about the survivor benefit when you figure out when the break even is. And then we talk about wages, pensions, income producing assets, required distributions on traditional accounts, how Social Security best fits those others. And what's wages doesn't make us money, either do pensions or Social Security or RMDs unless they invest it. But when I'm getting all of their 401ks and their IRAs and their 403bs, 457s, thrift plans, when they're getting their brokerage accounts, their CDs, cash flow, I get all their assets, and I'm looking for some of those or one of those that I can work with. And we have a successful way of transitioning from Social Security, of actually getting the asset. You may have questions. And so I do, there's a lot of things to consider, and I go through that slide, and then I say, you know what? I'll say, and here's how I end it. And then we'll type in things, because we're going to open up the phone lines here just in a sec. But here's what happens. I'll say, folks, I'll tell you what, I've been around this business for a long, long time. I can tell you right now, I don't know if I've ever had anyone come to me and say, Dave, you cannot believe how much money I made from procrastinating. In fact, there's a little saying. It says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Folks, if you heard something tonight that you think could be important, then there's a yellow sheet in your folder. Take it out and then time out. What I do is I walk around the room. I'm like a Geiger counter. I get close to them. They pull that sheet out. This is the appointment setting sheet. We have dates, and we have time groupings: morning, afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. They mark the date and then the grouping. And then I tell them, hey, take my call. If you mark yes, put a phone number there. We can catch you at daytime. If you're working, call me back at the break. Call us back after we call. But we're going to call you. I want to get this all done tomorrow because we have tons of appointments. And I'll tell you, I'm going to tell them how important it is. And I mean, some people say you're trying to shame them into. I'm not trying to shame them in. I'm trying to say how important Social Security timing is for them. So let's be professionals. And that really helps them call. And then I say, so I go to the last slide, and basically we have a picture and stuff on it, but it's a George Foreman slide. I said everybody knows who Big George is. And I believe if you can inject humor and have some fun, because it's a dry subject, it's a complicated subject, there's more apt that people will like you and you want to see you for an appointment. So what happens is, I say, yeah, he's been heavyweight 4 different times. Won it and lost it 4 different times. He made a ton of money boxing, but where did he make the most money in his lifetime? Ah, you're right, the George Foreman Grill. So folks, I'm going to tell you something tonight. And this is how I end, time up. This is how I end every seminar. Let me tell you something tonight. Unless you have your name on a grill, you need to mark yes and come in and see me. And then everybody laughs and everybody smiles and they might applaud, but people are in a good mood and they're happy. And can we help them? You darn right we can help them. So Steve Murray just put up, would you like more information on Social Security coaching seminars? I'll tell you right now, I hope you can clear your mind, erase your mind. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger was in something about the eraser one time. Erase all the information that you ever thought about seminars. If you don't know Social Security, everybody should mark yes. I can coach you up on Social Security. I don't coach Social Security alone. I always do it with Social Security because you got to get in front of somebody. You can be the smartest guy in the world, Social Security claiming, not get in front of everybody. You're not going to make any more money. You're not going to help anybody because you're not seeing anybody. Here we're guaranteeing you 25 buying units, 40 or more people in that room. I'll tell you what, don't get a guarantee with marketing very often, but this is your chance. I'd love to talk. We got a bunch of people on the line with us today, so I'd love for you to go on in and type it in and mark yes. And then what we'll do is it'll be on Monday. One of our administrators will call you back here from my coaching office. And again, I'm going to do like in the seminar. If you mark yes, take the call. Call us back. Don't make us keep on calling. I know you're busy. We're busy. Yeah, this is important stuff. And the digital marketing, Steve, I know you want to talk about it. I know we're running just a touch late here, but I can't tell you what a difference Facebook marketing with this vendor. I've tried 4 or 5 others with average luck. We've had stellar luck with this. So Steve, I'll jump it over to you.
Thanks, Dave. And you did hit on the point that has most questions. So there's a lot of questions about digital marketing. So we've got a guarantee, and the question is we guaranteed to have 25, or what happens if we don't have 25? What if we want more people in our seminars? Can we purchase more? So we probably should go over that again. You want to handle that, or you want me to?
Right. No, I will. What happens is we're going to guarantee 25 buying units. That's a husband or a wife. So if they come together, that's a buying unit. If just one of them comes, that's a buying unit. If a divorced person comes, that's a buying unit. So what happens is that if we're going to guarantee that we'll have 25 buying units, that should give you 10 appointments or more. Just like the last 2, one got 16 appointments and one got 14 appointments. That's good. I'm going to tell you, but anything above 10 appointments, the chance of you writing one or multiple pieces of business is quite high. And so if you don't, let's say only 24 buying units come in, well, the vendor, we're going to pay you back $100, backed by IAMS. We're paying you back $100. So if 24 instead of 25 come, then we're going to go in and pay you $100. If only 20 come and not 25 come, we'll pay back $500. If no one comes, we're paying back your $2,500. You're not going to see that anywhere else in the industry, I can assure you. Okay,
there's really 2 things they won't see about that, Dave. Is number 1, they won't see that done at that price, and number 2, usually the firms that do this digital marketing, they want to charge you per attendee. So, for instance, if you end up with 40 buying units there, then they want to charge you whatever they're charging you per that 40 all we have here, this is a minimum guarantee. Now, so that means that you might have 30 buying units there, you might have 40, you might have 26, you might have, if it's anything less than 25, you're going to get a refund, but if it's more, you're not paying more for that. And frankly, Dave has been reluctant to talk about the numbers that we've been seeing, and I think that's right, because we don't want to create expectations that are going to leave people disappointed, because we all know that if you get buying units in front of you for $100 a piece at a seminar, that's a tremendously good deal. So 25 for 2,500 in itself is a great deal.
You're right.
Yes, Dave, go ahead.
Steve, I was going to bring this up. I'm laughing. I know you might be smiling too, but my last workshop, I'm not kidding you. I have a workshop every month. I mean, this is in prime time. I could not have a workshop. I had a workshop 2 months ago. I could not have a workshop last month because I'm not kidding you, I had so many appointments. The same thing happened to a person that's in Kansas, and the same thing happened to a person up in the Northeast. I mean, not everyone is like that, but they had, we don't even want to say the number. I mean, it's legit. I mean, we're talking one-on-one, I'll do it. I'm not going to do it when this many people are on the line, but we guarantee 25 buying units. And you know what? That's a strong guarantee, a guarantee that you will not see anyone else having with Social Security workshops.
And Dave, so the question has been, what about the training cost and the seminar, the PowerPoint costs, and the other costs associated with the seminar? So we've got 2,500 buying units in the room for $2,500. So let's talk a little bit about the training and things that goes with that, because you've got a lot of interest from people that want to do seminars at this point.
Yeah, there's 3 coachings. They last about 45 minutes each. In fact, just to let you know, Steve, I'm coaching from our friend in Oregon here in 5 minutes.
Oh, good.
Okay, so I just want to let you know that. Yeah. So, and he's, this is a great, here's a fella, and met him at Annuity Academy, actually down in Dallas, which was about maybe, I don't know, I suppose that was 4 or 5 months ago, Steve.
Oh, more like.
And he's a big seminar giver. Yeah, big seminar giver, and he's done his own thing, and he found it locally, and he was having very, very good success. But after he kind of heard what we had, and especially what he told me was, he said, Dave, I'm going to tell you right now, and he runs business through IAMS, but what happens is that he said, having a guarantee, he said, that puts a whole new sway, because most people don't have a guarantee, and if they do, it could be 2 or 3 times higher than the 2,500. So, yeah, and so what I'm doing right now is, even though he knows Social Security, I'm coaching him for 3 sessions, and I'll go through the slides, kind of say what I say. We have language on our slides. We have a video of myself doing it live on the slides. We have a lot of, but all of that is part of the $2,500 you pay. The Social Security free calculator and software for the reports, that's free for 3 months. So a fourth of a year, you can go on and have that free. And then if you want to continue it, then the cost is somewhere between $25 and $30 a month, which is very reasonable. I shopped out five different seminar companies. I think this is an extremely good value, for our seminar givers. So the presentation, we did third party before, but I brought it in-house. I put together all the slides, although there's language on all the slides. And then IAMS did all the creative, which by the way, they've got a great creative department. I mean, if you're doing your business through IAMS, whether it be websites or business cards or letterhead or slogans, it's in-house, and they do a lot of work for our office, and a lot of that is done, Steve. A lot of that is gratis if you're working with IAMS. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Dave, I'm chuckling here.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
But anyway, all of those things are self-inclusive. I'm getting excited here, Steve.
I know, and you should be, because I'm looking at, people are expressing their interest, and they must recognize what you're saying. I've never seen. We've got like 97% yes of interest on this, so people recognize, I think, the value.
Well, it doesn't cost a thing to talk to me.
No.
Talk to me. I'm not gonna. You know what? We work with a lot of people. And I tell you the truth. I'm not looking for just anyone. What we're looking for is someone who's really committed, someone who really wants their production to go up. They want that production to go from 3 to 5 million. They want that production to go from $500,000 to $1.5 million. They want that production. They're just starting off, and they only did 200,000 last year. They want that to go to 750. I tell you what, if you get in front of, this is a very, very easy, it's a simple business to just get in front of people and close that business. It's not an easy business though. It's a hard business. Otherwise, lots of people would be doing it. I've done a lot of seminars, but Steve, since I've been coaching with IAMS the last 14 years, I don't think there's been anything that we've had more excitement about and more results on than digital Social Security seminars.
No, I would say that's true, and I've been kind of waiting here to see. There's a couple people that haven't voted, and if they vote, we could go to my first ever 100% yes. So that would be awesome. But I don't think it's hard for folks to recognize the value here, obviously. And there's a number of other questions, and because everybody's hit yes, I think we can probably assume that you're going to be talking to these folks one-on-one. There's a lot of very much more specific questions about Social Security benefits that I know you could answer very quickly, but I know you need to get talking to David here as well. So,
can I say one last thing, Steve?
Sure. Yep.
I'm going to make one last analogy. I'll never forget. I mean, I'm in my 60s. I'm 64, so I'm an old guy, but done this business since 1981. I always kid, I just started to figure it out. But what happens is, I will tell you this: we bought of course, you know our kids, so Liz and Sam, and I think Liz was probably 7 years old, 8 years old, and Sam was 5 or something. And we bought him some kind of contraption, swing set, jungle gym, who knows what it was. It wasn't like a huge one outside, but you put it together. And I remember it was the night before Christmas. So it's Christmas Eve, they're in bed, we're downstairs, we're having a little wine, we're putting this thing together. And I'm telling you what, they said it should take like an hour. And like after 2.5 hours and like through a bottle of wine, and we had instructions, and it was still that hard to figure out how to put together. That's how many people do seminars. The FMO or the vendor will give you written instructions of how to do it. But just think on putting together that swing set jungle gym thing, if there had been an installer that had done it 100 times and they were helping us. Well, if it was supposed to take an hour to put together, I bet we would have put it together in 45 minutes because we would have followed his lead. That's exactly what I do when people coach with me. There's a lot of good seminar systems out there. There's a lot of good presentations. There's a lot of good notes on what to do, but talking to someone, coaching with someone who has done over 500 public seminars, who is in production right now, who knows and who put together the seminar, I'll tell you what, it puts the odds in your favor. You throw in 25 guaranteed buying units for $2,500, and Steve, you know this, $100 per buying unit, that's extremely cheap.
Ridiculous.
Extremely cheap of getting in front of you, yeah. So I'll just say, I'm not just the blueprint, I'm the installer. I'm the person that helps you install that jungle gym. Like I'm the person that helps you really understand this seminar and the seminar system and all of the kind of the things you need to do to make it successful for you.
Perfect. Thank you, Dave. As always, great webinar. A lot of great information. We appreciate that very much. Thank you all as well for joining us. Oh, I didn't close that poll. I'm going to close that poll out. And so Dave will be giving each of you a call, except for one of you. We didn't hit 100%, Dave, just so you know.
Okay, all right.
But a great webinar. Thank you for joining us. This really webinar was all about helping you with a very important subject, Social Security claiming, and walking you through a few things, giving you an idea of a way to meet more people. That's what we want to do here at IAMS whenever we can, is help you be successful and help you help your clients. And so it's a true kind of a idea of what you can expect from IAMS for those of you that haven't maybe joined us on webinars or done business with in the past. We are interested in your success. Dave has done a great job with the coaching aspect and helping us to develop the security claiming seminar. He has other seminars as well that he uses, so he's a great resource for our producers, certainly. Thank you for joining us. We're right at the end of the week, so I'm not going to say have a great sales week. I'm going to say have a great weekend, and let's get fired up for next week. Thank you for all for joining us. Thanks for taking some time out of your schedule. And Dave, thank you as well, and good luck in your conversation with David.
Oh, you bet. You know what? Everybody, just let's leave on this note, because I'm from Nebraska. So if you're watching the Nebraska-Ohio State game, be praying for us, would you? Okay, have a great weekend.
Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.